There was once a weekend of rugby so bright. The Brumbies upset the Crusaders outright. Then Ireland bet England with glee, and the Wild Knights lost to Kobe. It made all the fans cheer with delight. Hello and welcome to the Rugby Roundup with Big Mike here on February 24th, 2026. It is I, Big Mike, here at Big Mike Rugby. Now let's talk all about our beautiful game. On this week's episode, we've got a huge amount of international results from Europe. We've got upsets in Japan, upsets in Super Rugby. We've got things happening in France and some URC as well. Plus, big upset coming from the world of Super Rugby Americas. But enough of all that. Let's get to the roundup. And we're going to start with our games of the week and with our upset of the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, this one came from Super Rugby Pacific. The Brumbies had not won in Christchurch in 26 years. The Crusaders, the defending champions, were coming out of a loss to the Highlanders. The Brumbies were coming out of a big win against the Western Force. This one was back and forth in the first half. We got to 14 all before a yellow card to the Crusaders and a try to the Brumbies before half-time. Brumbies went up 19 points to 14. They scored first out of the break. This one was 24 points to 14 before we knew it. And the Crusaders scored again. At 60 minutes, thanks to another try for the Brumbies, it was 29 points to 19. Few missed conversions through the game, kept it tight. 31-19 it went before being 31-24 with 10 minutes left. Of course the Crusaders were going to come back, right? Wrong. 3 tries to the Brumbies in the final 10 minutes gave them the 50 points to 24 upset against the Crusaders in Christchurch. Our beatdown of the week brings us to the Six Nations, and the two teams going into the weekend looking like they were going to be the biggest threats to France, that being England hosting Ireland. Ireland got out to a 22-0 lead in the first half. It was 22-7 at half-time. Then the Irish kept scoring at one point. This one was 42 points to 14. Final score in this one, Ireland beating down England at Twickenham, 42 points to 21. After all of their momentum from last year and even the start of this year, England have now lost 2 games in a row. Our scrap of the week brings us to the Rugby Europe Championship. And in this game, it was Belgium taking on Germany. Now, Germany had previously beaten Romania, and if Germany won this one and Romania lost to Portugal, Germany would have made it to the semi-finals. That was not the case, as Belgium finally played to their world ranking and won this one, but boy was it a scrap. Going into half-time, Belgium were up 5 points to 3. With 20 minutes left, they were winning 8 points to 3. It was messy. There were missed tackles. There was scrum dominance and scrum weakness. Belgium finally won this one, 18 points to 3. 3 unconverted tries and a penalty getting them the win in the scrap of the week. Now, in our game of the week, I hate to repeat the competitions, but this one actually goes to the Six Nations. It was Wales hosting Scotland. Wales had not beaten a top team in a very long time. They beat the Japanese a couple of times last year. At half-time, Wales were up 17-5. A penalty after half-time got them up to 20 points to 5. The hope was running high in Cardiff Hearts. But then Finn Russell was Finn Russell, and he scored a beautiful try. Converted that try, was 20 points to 12. An Evans penalty meant that with 22 minutes left, Wales were up 23 points to 12. Converted try for the Scots made it 23-19. And then with just 5 minutes left, Scotland scored again. 26 points to 23 to the Scots, escaping this one in our game of the week. Now let's continue talking about the Six Nations. As I've mentioned, England lost to Ireland 42-21 and Scotland escaped with one against Wales 26-23. Last game of the weekend saw the red-hot France hosting Italy. Half-time, this was 19-8. The Italians could not score in the second half, and 2 converted tries meant that France won this one 33 points to 8. Our table after 3 rounds, France are perfect. 3 from 3 bonus points in each, sitting on top of the table with 15 points. Behind them are the 2 teams with 2 wins from 3, that being Scotland on 11 points and Ireland on 9. Italy and England sit on 5. You can nearly say that they are out of it. There is still technically a way for England to win this one, but you need to rely on France losing twice without getting bonus points and a whole bunch of other games to go their way. Wales sitting bottom of the table. No wins from 3 games, but they did collect a bonus point against Scotland. Pool A in the Rugby Europe Championship. Switzerland got the upset win over the Dutch, 29 points to 23, and in a battle for first in the pool, Georgia bet Spain 42 points to 30. Georgia coming first, Spain coming second, and they are the 2 teams through to the semi-finals. In Pool B, as I mentioned, Germany couldn't get the job done, losing 18 points to 3 against Belgium. Romania then had made it in as long as they didn't lose by 41 points. And good thing for them, they only lost by 37. It was 44 points to 7 to Portugal. Our semi-finals take place not this weekend, but next weekend. To club rugby now, the URC gave us 1 game. It was a catch-up game for 2 South African teams. The Lions took down the Sharks 34 points to 22. That puts the Lions into 7th spot. The Sharks are in 10th. Top 14 also gave us 1 game last weekend as Perpignan got the upset 40-24 victory over Pau. That means the gap up the top between Toulouse and Pau is pretty clear. It is 11 points, with Toulouse running away with this one. Perpignan, with that win, getting getting even further ahead of Montauban. 11 points the difference between 13th and automatic relegation. Premiership Rugby Cup games now. Northampton bet Newcastle 49 points to 21. Gloucester took out Salé 43-17. In our close one of the week, the Leicester Tigers bet Harlequins 33 points to 27, and Exeter took out Bath 31-19. 1 round left in Pool A. Exeter has definitely qualified. They have a bye. If Gloucester get a good enough win, they will take first spot. In the other pool, Leicester, right up top, they have qualified automatically. Saracens need a bonus point win, with Northampton getting no bonus points to make it through. Good thing Northampton are playing Saracens this weekend. Oh, I forgot D2. Again, bet for Les Romans 43-23. It was Colomiers scoring 18 against the Donut of Béziers. Big win as Oyonnax bet Stade Montois 73 points to 7. Another 18-3 game as Aurillac bet Sayo Angolini. Carcassonne 42, Nevers 31. Varn, my beloved Varn, 40-33 over Berry. Dax bet Provence 33-21. And in our close game of the weekend, Grenoble just escaped against Breve 20-18. Varna sitting pretty at top of the table, followed by Colomiers, Provence, Valence-Romand, Oyonnax and Breve. Japan League 1 Division 1 Round 9. The Kubota Spears kept their momentum going with a 26-10 victory over the Mitsubishi Dynaboars. The Uriasu D-Rocks could not get anything going against the Black Rams, who are resurgent. That one was 41 points to 19. Huge upset as Toyota Verblitz 52 took out Brave Lupus 21. That was the Aaron Smith and Mark Talea game. The Honda Heat beat the Shizuoka Blue Revs 26-21. Toyota Sun Goliath 54-22 over the Cannon Eagles. And top of the table clash, it was the second place Kobe Steelers that beat the unbeaten Panasonic Wild Knights. This one was 40 points to 24. The Kobe Steelers are now your hot and juicy team of Japan. But they are not sitting on top of the table. That belongs to the Kubota Spears. There are 3 teams who are 8 wins from 9 games, that being the Spears, the Kobe Steelers in second, and the Wild Knights in third. Our other top 6 teams, so Toyota Sun Goliath, Brave Lupus, and the Black Rams. Bottom of the table, Cannon Eagles. Now, Super Rugby Pacific results. Week 1, Moana Pacifica went to Lautoka in Fiji and took out the Fijian Drua on their home patch. Week 2, they went to Wellington and they could not repeat it. In fact, they got thrashed. It was 52 points to 10 as the Hurricanes won in their first hit out of the season. The Waratahs took it to the Fijian Drua. It was close in the first half, but the Waratahs ran away with it in the second, 36 points to 13. Chiefs won their second close one of the season, this one being 26-23 against the Highlanders. The Blues missed out on a bonus point as the Western Force scored a last-minute try. This one was 42 points to 32. And in our last game of the weekend, we had that beautiful Brumbies win 50-24. After just 2 rounds, your top 3 are the Brumbies, Waratahs and Chiefs. Our other unbeaten squad, 1 from 1, are the Hurricanes. Blues and the Highlanders rounding out our top 6. Super Rugby America's results now. For some reason, Dogos and Cobras didn't play. Don't know why. Anyway, Selknam away from home lost to Tarukas. This one was 31 points to 13. Pampas away from home got a victory over Yakare. This was 30-17. And the defending champions Panadol against the newbies and the Capybaras. The Capybaras won this one 34 points to 7. Women's club results now. We have the Leicester Tigers going down to the Trailfinders. Can't get it done. This one was 40-19. The Sharks beat the Harlequins 15-12. Saracens demolished the Exeter Chiefs 45-17. And the Bristol Bears escaped against the Loughborough Lightning 24 points to 21. Now, let's look at our table after 12 rounds. Saracens are sitting on top, but do have 1 extra game compared to Gloucester Hartpury, who have their maximum 50 points from 10 games, who are sitting in second. Exeter Chiefs and Harlequins round out our top 4. Saracens and Gloucester Hartpury are clearly your champions up top. The Leicester Tigers have their 1 bonus point, 1 point sitting at the bottom of the table. So sad. Poor Leicester. That is it for our games from last weekend. Now, if you want me to talk about any teams, any games, any competitions, reach out and say so. I'm on Instagram, Big Mike Rugby. I'm on TikTok, Big Mike Rugby. You can comment on it anywhere you find your podcasts. Love reading some feedback. I do. Now, look, I did say the Crusaders weren't having any home games, but I don't count their old stadium as a home game anyway, because they got that beautiful new one that's earthquake-proof. Now, you know what? Looking forward to this weekend. There are no international games. Both the Six Nations and the Rugby Europe Championship have a week off. But we have a week of URC rugby. Your reminder of our current top four, we have Glasgow, Leinster, Stormers and Ulster. Cardiff, Munster, Lions and Bulls round out our top 8. Top dogs Glasgow taking on Connacht. Leinster taking on Cardiff. That is second away at 5th. Edinburgh take on Scarlets. The Lions are at home against the Stormers. The Bulls are at home against the Sharks. Munster are hosting the absolutely hapless Zebre. Dragons take on Benetton and Ospreys are facing Ulster. To top 14 games, Clermont faces Bayonne. It's Lyon taking on Toulon. Montpellier face Racing 92. Stade Montois are not in this competition, but Stade Francais Paris take on Perpignan. Top of the table versus bottom of the table is Toulouse face Montauban. Castres are taking on La Rochelle, and it is second versus third as Pau hosts Porto. Speaking of Stade Montois, in our D2 games this weekend, they are at home against Biarritz. Soyo Angolini take on Valence Romans. Provence take on again. Béziers versus Oyonnax. Brive versus Dax. Carcassonne hosts Aurillac. Nevers face Grenoble. And once again, Varna in your main event taking on Colomiers. Premiership Rugby Cup. Harlequins versus Newcastle. Bath versus Gloucester. Bristol taking on Salé. And Northampton versus Saracens. If Saracens get a bonus point victory, and Northampton don't get a bonus point, then Saracens will make it through to your semis. Japan League 1, Division 1. Brave Lupus hoping to bounce back against the Black Rams. Kobe Steelers looking to continue their momentum when they're away from home against the D-Rocks. The Wild Knights, after that shocking loss last week, are home against the Honda Heat. Cairn Eagles take on the top of the table Kubota Spears. The Dynabors are taking on the rampaging Toyota Verblitz. And the Blue Revs and Sun Goliath, two teams battling for those final few spots in the top 6, are your last game. Super Rugby Pacific. Moana Pacifica host the Force. That game is in Pukekohe. The Reds take on the Highlanders. Reds coming off their bye last weekend. Fiji and Drua host the Hurricanes. Can the Drua stop this rampaging tornado? Or hurricane? It is the Chiefs hosting the Crusaders. Oh my goodness, are the Chiefs going to get 3 from 3, or are the Crusaders going to start with 3 losses? And in the final game of the weekend, game I'm most looking forward to, is the Brumbies taking on the Blues in Canberra. And I'm going to drive 3 hours to go and watch it. And I'm going to do an escape room with people that hate escape rooms, and then I'm going to go watch a game. Looking forward to it. But the Brumbies are red hot, and the Blues just escaped with one in Perth after losing to the Chiefs. Super Rugby Americas games. Now, Penarol, your defending champions who lost last weekend, get their first home game against Tarukas. It is Selknam hosting Yakare in a battle of two teams that lost. Can the Capybaras remain undefeated in every game ever as they take on the Cobras? And it is Pampas versus Dogo. Premiership Women's Rugby takes the week off. And you know what? That's us for the weekend. Now, before we close off, let's talk about Big Mike's Big 3 games. If you've only got time to watch one, follow one, whatever, maybe make sure it's one of these guys. Let's start in the URC, as I think Cardiff taking on Leinster will be great. Most of Leinster are playing for Ireland. Cardiff are fighting for a spot in the top 4. In top 14, we've got that second versus third battle as Pau take on Bordeaux. And let's be nice and basic in this one and get a game from Super Rugby Pacific. Even though I'm going to that Brumbies Blues game, I'm thinking the game of the weekend to watch is going to be the Chiefs versus the Crusaders. Are the Crusaders going to start with 3 losses? Are the Chiefs going to start with 3 wins? Remember, this was our final last year, all to play for at FMG Stadium in Hamilton. And that's us. Nice and short and to the point. Next week there's going to be a bit more rugby to talk about, but also a bit less. Very funny time of the year. Super Rugby in both the Pacific and the Americas is heating up. Our club rugby in Europe is getting juicy. The Rugby Europe Championship will be going into our semi-finals, and we'll be looking at the last 2 weekends of the 6 nations. But that's enough for today. Go and have a beautiful week and watch some beautiful rugby, will ya?